Hello, space. Meet the Ioniq 9, Hyundai's first three-row all-electric EV. With over 300 miles of range, ultra-fast charging capability, and lots of space. Experience more room and more freedom. Learn more about the Ioniq 9 at HyundaiUSA.com. Call 562-314-4603 for complete details.
This episode is brought to you by Buick. Buick certified service technicians are factory trained to fit your vehicle with the tires specifically developed for it. And with our tire price match guarantee, you get the best fit for the best deal. Buick, exceptional by design. Available on select eligible tire brands at participating dealers only. Offer ends 12/31/2025. Terms apply. See dealer for complete details. Visit Buick.com/service to learn more.
If fool me, we can't get fooled again.
In Dallas, Texas, 3 shots were fired at President Kennedy's motorcade in downtown Dallas.
December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy.
You don't know what you're talking about, do you, sir?
Because people have got to know whether or not their president's a crook. Well, I'm not a crook. I've earned everything I've got.
If you don't like what we tell you to believe in, we'll kill you.
All right, kids. Listen. Don't listen to this podcast.
Don't listen to this.
If you're not of age.
What's of age?
18.
So 16?
18. We're a bunch of dudes, and we're going to say some really bad words.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Conspiracy Podcast.
Yeah. It's us again.
What's up, guys?
Sean, Eric, Jorge.
The 3 compadres.
Welcome.
Back at it again.
I think this is, what are we at? Episode 26, give or take.
Or 27.
27,
I think it's 27, 28. Yeah,
somewhere in
Just
there.
getting started.
Almost
a
in
nice little run, but we just get
Almost in our
started.
30s.
We have a collection now.
Exactly.
So today's episode is on flat Earth.
Highly contested subject.
Oh, my God.
This is okay. Before we start on flat Earth, let me just put a disclaimer here. Yeah, a lot of people bash flat Earthers.
I understand.
You know what I mean?
Rightfully
and I don't.
so.
Well, no.
No opinions at Jorge.
No opinions. What I wanted to say though is like, just imagine you're a flat Earther. And then
everyone
everyone
hates
shit
you.
on you. They shit on you and they shit on you, and it's
That's
like
the life of a
it's
conspiracy theorist, man.
It's the life of flat earther, homie.
Yeah.
But you sign on for that shit.
Yeah, you sign on for that shit.
What's funny
for
is
sure.
that we have a conspiracy podcast, but this is like the extreme one, right?
Oh, this is.
Oh, yeah.
This is
Imagine you
above
look at the difference between far left and far right. This is the farthest.
Yeah.
Yes.
you can possibly go.
Yes.
Left or right.
And
Either way.
it's the extreme. The extreme.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you guys ahead of time, and you don't have to tell me if you don't want to, because I've heard that there are in the closet flat earthers.
Oh wow. Because they're too afraid to tell their friends.
Yes. No,
My
I'm not
dad
even
would
kidding.
disown me.
I'm not even kidding. People believe in it, and then they say it, and then they get disowned.
It's like Trump supporters.
Yes, literally, they're like MAGA hat.
I fucking hate you. Get out of
So
my life.
I didn't know if you wanted to just say, hey,
Eric's safe space.
I just it was a safe spot. I didn't want it to be, if
Like
you
it was
guys,
shitting on
if
you.
you guys are, hey, I am into flat Earth.
If anybody's a closet, it's Eric. It's
Oh,
not.
100%. I'm pretty sure Eric's a closet no earther.
Yeah.
We're actually not even we're not on
We're
Earth.
not here.
We're in a simulation.
Simulation, bitch.
All right, so here we go. We'll see how long this is. It might be 2 parts. We'll kind of just take it how it goes. I mean,
roll with the punches.
yeah,
here.
the idea here is to understand. In my opinion, it was why is this a thing? Like why is it a thing?
It's also until I looked into it more, I was just really confused. Well, what's the full scale of what they believe in?
Yeah.
Like I get it. Oh yeah, the Earth's flat, but there's more than that.
What's the argument?
Yeah,
what's
what about outside of Earth and that kind of stuff? So
Yeah.
we'll get into all that.
All planets are flat.
It
doesn't make any sense.
It's like the universe is like my pantry. Yeah. There's just like plates.
It's so funny because it doesn't make any sense at all. And I'm trying to be nice and I'm trying to be, open-minded, I guess. I'm trying to be open-minded on it.
Well, let's just see what happens.
Yeah, maybe we change our mind.
Maybe we change our mind. Maybe I go straight from the front, right back in the closet on flat Earth.
What's crazy is I saw all these interviews of people and they were like, I thought this was such a joke, and then I watched these videos and I read this book, and you know what?
Same.
I believe now. And then so I did the same thing, and I was like, what are you talking about?
You're like,
what book did you read that I didn't read?
You're just like, I believe less.
Yeah. No offense. No offense. I'm going to say that constantly.
No offense. Yeah. We're going to just go through. And then we want you guys to decide. And obviously, we might actually put a poll up afterwards. I do want to put a poll up. We should 2 polls. Were you a flat earther before? Yes or no? And then, are you a flat earther now? Yes or no?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I thought it was a good idea to kind of do a little history lesson about the concept of flat Earth.
Well, in classic conspiracy podcast fashion.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
kind of what we do. That's like our jam.
We're like history teachers that drink Miller Lights.
Yeah. We have 3 high school diplomas.
3. Count them.
You guys
count them.
Do you know how many years that is? Again, we don't.
Well, I don't know if you just count just high school. Is that 4? But I don't know. I was thinking like middle school and all that stuff. But that doesn't count towards it.
All right, so here we go. Here we go.
3.
Put your flat Earth hat on. All right. So in 1492, Christopher Columbus was shocked when his ship made landfall in a land that the Europeans never explored. Along the way, Christopher proved the Earth is not flat. This is not correct. I wanted to start with that was what we were kind of taught in school, and that is not correct. So despite what we learned in school and despite what we learned, about how he found America and that sort of thing, it's not true that he was trying to talk the crown into thinking that it was round. You know what I mean? Like
he also stumbled on America by accident. He was trying to go to Africa, and he fucked up.
Well, no, he was trying to go to Asia.
He was trying to go to Asia. That's what it was. Trying to go to Asia.
Yeah, he's trying to go to Asia.
He fucking whoopsies.
Yeah,
took a wrong left turn.
But there's this conception that in that time period, that everybody thought the Earth was flat.
Oh yeah, well,
and it's not true.
The map is flat, so why isn't the fucking Earth flat?
Yeah, so it's just not true. So they thought it was round then. Like, everything was flat, and so then they were gonna, they wanted to explore, and he talked the queen into it, and it's just not true.
I even think back, and if you look at even like the ancient astronomers, I think they were like when they were looking at the things, everything was kind of circular, orb-like.
Yeah.
Even when they were looking at shit, I think that they were onto something.
Yeah. So he tried to go. He thought he was going to go to Asia, and really all that happened was that he was sailing, and there was more land than he thought.
Yeah.
They thought it was just a big ocean,
and
he would go around
forever.
Yeah, and then it would arrive in Asia. But what happened is he found, or he didn't find America.
No,
he was like
he just discovered it.
Yeah, he was 18th or something.
I love how they they discovered it. I'm like, but people were living there. How could you discover something that people already exist on?
Yeah.
It's not discovered.
So here's the thing. So historian Jeffrey Russell, he said, no educated person in the history of Western civilization from the 3rd century BC onward believed that the Earth was flat.
Damn. So it's like no educated person.
So this has just been known for a long period of time.
Yeah.
Shots fired.
Yep. And that was thanks to scientists, philosophers, mathematicians, etc., who around 600 BC made observations that the Earth was round.
I also think that the main thing, even I think originally where it came from is just they couldn't see past a certain point because obviously you can only see, I think from where you are, you can only see up to 3 or 4 miles or some shit.
Yeah.
6.
And then it starts playing out.
6,
obviously, if you go higher, the higher you go, the further you can see.
True.
But the curvature of the Earth won't allow you to see certain points. So they're like, shit, it's fucking flat, motherfucker. Shit falls off after that.
Yeah. But the Greek scholars, you were just talking about that, they determined that it was a sphere.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
And so that was in BC.
500 BC, 600 BC. That's a long time ago. The earliest documented mention of the concept dates was around 5th century BC.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And that was Greek philosophers.
Tzatziki sauce, little astronomy. You know what I'm saying?
Additionally, what's interesting is Magellan.
Oh, yeah.
He went around the planet.
He arrived back at the same place.
Yeah, Magellan is known for that's what he did.
He circumnavigated the globe.
He circumnavigated the entire planet. That was in 1520.
God, on a wooden ship.
In the least, that was proven then.
No, but what happened was he was flat. He just went on the other side because it's flat.
He just went around the rim.
Flat, he just fell off the side.
He just didn't know. He did the quick 180 bloop on the bottom. And
No, he just went around like the rim.
he just went exactly
like somehow.
He went around the rim of the dish. Idiot. Duh.
So Columbus ran into resistance when he was trying to get funding for his whole trip.
I would have loved to have been in like that Shark Tank episode.
Yeah,
Columbus,
like fundraising.
Check me out. I got this. Trust me. I need like hella gold for the ship.
For 2%
it's an Italian.
of my company.
for 2% of my boat.
So he mistakenly believed that the circumference of Earth was very small, and that by traveling west toward what he thought was China, that he would open up new routes. So after years of negotiation and argument over the length of the proposed journey, because you need more money for the longer that your journey is.
Right. And he didn't realize that I think the Earth its diameter is like something like
it's huge.
Like 15,000 miles from shit like that.
That's crazy, yeah. So he finally convinced Ferdinand II of Spain to finance the expedition.
But it's 12,756 kilometers.
Yeah.
So that's roughly 24,000 miles in diameter. That's the diameter. No, sorry, that's circumference. That's a distance all the way around the equator.
Yeah.
So in a full circle, 24,000 miles.
That's insane.
The diameter is just like half, like just going straight to the middle.
So what's interesting and where it kind of perverted the story was by somebody, a writer. Go figure. His name is Washington Irving.
His name was William Shakespeare.
And in 1828, so 1492, fast forward all the way to 1828, this guy named Washington Irving published The Life and Voyages of Christopher Columbus. Irving, a storyteller, was already famous for Rip Van Winkle, The Legend of Sleepy Hollow.
Damn, what a
and then he tackled the life of Columbus, right?
What a weird like switch from his normal writing style.
So while he was visiting Madrid, he was tempted by a gigantic archive of documents about Columbus and decided to write an explorer's biography. While the archive may have been extensive, Irving couldn't help himself but adding a fictional twist to Christopher Columbus.
A little something.
He had superpowers.
Yes.
17-inch penis.
He claimed in that biography, that when the explorer told the Spanish geographers the Earth was not actually flat, they refused to believe him, even questioning his faith and endangering his life. So the writer is saying that Columbus, being the hero that Columbus was, he went and said, hey, the Earth is round. And the geographers said, no, it's not. You pagan.
You don't believe in God.
You don't believe in anything.
And this is back when, so at this time, the reason that's such a big deal is so that at this time, the Spanish pretty much ruled the world.
Yeah.
And the entire Spanish Armada and their whole army, all of their exploits was literally just to fund the church.
Yeah.
And they would bring back all this gold. That's why if you go to Spain, and all the churches are so just fucking out of control.
Yeah.
Everything's gold organs and shit. It's ridiculous. Because they dumped all the money back into the church because the church was the law. Oh, you're a pagan? They'll just fucking behead you in like Town Square. And they're like, fuck them.
Unfortunately, though, Irving tricked his readers, and they
believed him.
They believed him, and his book became a bestseller.
He's like, perfect. All part of the plan.
So he kind of created
old school fake news.
Exactly. Propaganda
no, absolutely. Yeah. Well, he kind of created a bad guy in the story, and the bad guy was the Spanish, the
king?
Ferdinand, and the geographers and the scientists at the time. So they made a bad guy like, Christopher Columbus overcame these odds, and
that's interesting because Christopher Columbus is really like glorified.
Yeah,
and he was I'm telling you guys, if you look at real history, he was a fucking piece of shit.
So we're in
not a good dude.
We're in our late 30s and 40 and and when we were growing up, we learned that Columbus was a great guy. And he discovered America.
He was a legend.
And it was like a great thing. But then when we turned like 25 or 30, it became he was beating up his crew and
he ruthlessly murdered like all the indigenous people. He enslaved them. He was super savage.
Yeah. So this is kind of just telling that story of how a writer who wrote a book kind of glorified his life. You know,
he was trying to get clicks. It was like clickbait. It was like clickbait in the 1500s.
He's like, the story's not that exciting, so let's pump it up.
I know they're like, and he's still sailing.
Yeah.
Still.
Now, again, just to make sure we...
Him and Tupac.
They went to Cuba.
So just to make sure why we're talking about this is because his story said that nobody believed him that the earth was round.
Yeah.
In the biography.
The writer's story.
The writer,
but that's not true. Right. Everybody thought
everyone believed it was round.
Yeah. So that's why we're telling this story.
That was the lie.
Yeah, exactly.
And that stuck.
Yeah. More and more writers they wrote more and more books.
Saying the same shit.
And, like the telephone game, just imagine over 2 centuries of books, not an actual telephone. And it just becomes...
Just gets perverted into
so you have...
Christopher Columbus is actually from Krypton.
Yeah, and so you have a school, and the school has 15 books. It's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's
the truth.
That's the truth.
That's
the gospel.
Yeah, that becomes the truth.
So shall it be written, so shall it be done.
So though Columbus never proved Earth was round, he did manage to upset the long-held belief that there was another way across the ocean. Right? Of course, he didn't discover Americas. Indigenous people were there for thousands of years. The Vikings were there 300 years earlier.
Yep.
So, but the point of this, he did not think the Earth was flat.
No.
Right?
Debunked.
That the government did not think the Earth was flat.
No.
Yeah. Okay. So you guys ready now for the birth of the flat Earth theory?
Got it.
Yeah. All right. So there's a man named Samuel Rowbotham.
The father of flat Earth.
Samuel Rowbotham, right? He was an English inventor, so he lived in England, and he was a writer, and he was a utopian socialist.
Oh God, what a classy guy!
how would you define a utopian socialist?
They believe that a perfect society is like with socialism, everyone's equal and it can be perfect.
Communes, kind of like
everyone is like the perfect cog.
Yes.
To make the machine work.
Yes,
and it's perfect. Yes. But you realize that
you're in charge of the butter. You're in charge of this, but I need butter this morning, and we traded. And,
but they think it's like it's not really utopian because it's literally you can't just delete ambition. You can't delete inherent like some people are inherently smarter or better or more suited to do certain things at a much higher level than other humans.
Yeah,
it's just the way it is. It's not like you're better or worse. It's just. Some people are smarter than other people. Some people are physically stronger. Some people are faster.
More motivated than others. Or whatever.
Some people want to do
more
shit. Some people don't want to do anything. It doesn't matter.
That's right.
It's okay.
That's right. And he wrote something called the Zetetic Astronomy. Earth, not a globe. Now, he wrote it under a pseudonym.
Of course, because he didn't want to... They can't find me. Fuck
and
that.
His pseudonym was Parallax.
Oh my God, that's so bad. It sounds like congestion medicine. Your nose getting a little sloppy, a little parallax.
It is kind of dope when you say it in a deep voice.
Parallax.
I
mean, I'm pretty sure it's like the new Disney villain.
I know, right? Yeah, it does sound like a Disney villain. Parallax. So he wrote
congestion medicine or Disney villain.
Both simultaneous. He evolved from congestion medicine into being a villain.
So in 1849, he published a pamphlet, right?
A manifesto.
Yeah, like a pamphlet, and then later, like
Jerry Maguire style.
Like 10, 15 years later, he turned it into an actual book.
Yeah.
Okay, and so. It's hard to say his name. Rowbotham. Yeah, we'll do Rowbotham. Rowbotham's method, which he called Zetetic Astronomy, and it models the Earth as a flat disk centered at the North Pole, and it's bounded along the perimeter by a wall of ice. So you're visualizing that?
Yeah.
So it's flat. In the center is the North Pole. And then there's this like the Night Watch from Game of Thrones.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, the giant ice wall.
Yes. There's a big ice wall. I don't know how high, right? With the sun, the moon, planets, and stars moving only several thousand miles above the surface. So not millions of light years away or whatever it is.
Well, it's just millions of miles.
Millions of miles. Sorry, yeah. So not millions of miles away, but simply several thousand miles up.
Yeah. So this giant nuclear reaction, hydrogen bomb that's the sun, that's 4,000 times bigger than the Earth, is just a couple hundred miles up. Yeah. It's kind of like, what the fuck?
And it doesn't melt the ice.
I know.
It helps us.
Yeah, it's like it's a crisp 98.
Yeah.
like 100% believable.
So Rowbotham started out as an organizer of what's called an Owenite community.
Wait. Can you explain what an Owenite is?
Yeah, an Owenite community is kind of like a commune. And it was based on this guy, Owen, and it was a socialist commune where everybody would share everything. And it's kind of like in The Last of Us.
I was going to say, communes only work when there's a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah.
The only time it actually ever
That's
worked.
pretty much what it was. Yeah. I mean, without the zombies. Okay, so his initial theory was that if the Earth was round, then an object, the further it is away, would lower based on the curvature of the Earth.
Oh, because you're thinking, okay, I understand. But
the concept.
It's too big for that to happen.
Yeah, so
wait, say that again.
Okay, so his initial theory was that if the Earth was round, then an object, the further it is away from your viewing, would be lower based on the measurement of the Earth curvature.
So but that's if the Earth was 100 feet wide.
Yeah.
It's like, it's good. See, it's going down.
And I'm just going to draw something for Jorge.
That's a circle. Thank you for that, Eric.
But say you're right here.
Oh, see, like once you get past the line of sight.
So your line of sight is there.
Yeah.
So if it is in fact a circle, if it is in fact a sphere, then your line of sight ends here. Does that make sense?
Right.
And everything else is lower.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in theory...
That was the theory, yeah.
That's the theory. That's his initial theory.
The theory is not necessarily wrong, but the Earth's too big for that to make sense.
I know. Maybe, before you get mad, right?
I'm just saying. Maybe on the moon that works, but
So it means the further away something is from you, the lower it would be and out of sight, and it would essentially go down. Yeah, and he did an experiment. Mm-hmm. Okay, the experiment was he got into like a canal or this really long 6-mile ditch, canal, ditch, whatever.
Sure.
Right? And it had water in it.
Well, that's what a canal is.
Yeah.
Well, that's why when you said ditch, I'm like, okay, what?
Yeah,
what is it?
It's a little bit bigger than a ditch, but anyways. So he got in, right? So he got in and he put a telescope on like a tripod pole kind of thing. And so the pole or stick or whatever you want to call it, I don't know, back then in the 1800s, they didn't have a tripod.
It's like a broom.
Yeah. So they stuck, and he put a telescope on the top. And so it was right sticking out of the water. Yeah. And it was facing this. So then he put a boat on the canal. Okay. In the boat, he put a post, and the post was 1 meter high.
3 feet.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, correct.
We're in America.
And he put a flag.
No fucking meters here.
Translate that shit.
What is a meter?
And he put a flag on the post. Right?
Yeah.
So his theory was if he had the boat go 6 miles down the canal, if the Earth was curved.
Building a portfolio with Fidelity Basket Portfolios is kind of like making a sandwich. It's as simple as picking your stocks and ETFs, sort of like your meats and other toppings, and managing it as one big, juicy investment. Now that's pretty good. Learn more at fidelity.com/baskets. Investing involves risk, including risk of loss. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC. Member NYSE SIPC.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
It would get small.
It would disappear.
Oh, he would cease to see it.
Yeah. So his experiment began. So he gets in the water, he pushes the boat down 6 miles, and sure enough, he could still see the flag through the telescope. So he's thought.
I see.
So now that is when he became, I am a flat earther.
He literally started this. He's like, went back to the commune.
Yeah.
You're never going to fucking believe this.
Yes. Honestly.
Fake news everywhere.
Yes. So then he declared the earth is flat.
Hear ye, hear ye. Thine earth is flat.
That's the experiment. I don't know if you have opinions on that experiment.
I do think it's funny, like, he ran one experiment. And he was like, proved.
Well,
proven.
In his book, he has a few other ones, but they're so.
He's like, I threw a rock and it didn't.
They're so small.
Disappear in the horizon.
They're so small in comparison. Like that was his foundation. You know, like that was his. This is what I'm basing everything on.
6 miles.
6 miles.
6 mile.
He can still see it.
Far
So he's now then says, okay, the only way I could see it is because it's flat.
And then what time? Like what's the time period this is happening?
Mid 1800s.
Yeah. They were fucking retards back then.
Okay, so why? Now here's the question. Here's the question that we're gonna pose right here. Why could he still see it?
I think
if there's a curvature, if this is true, and every 3 miles it goes down an inch or 2 inches or a foot or you know what I mean, 10 feet, whatever. Why?
Definitely not that much. That's the problem.
Why can you still see it?
The Earth is so wide that 6 miles in comparison. What do we say it was? 30,000 miles? Or
it's like 24,000 miles. That's a circumference fully around.
So 6 miles.
Fully around.
You know, that's nothing.
Well, he did the measurements, and so 6 miles should have been enough to drop it.
Oh, okay.
The meter. Remember how the post is a meter high?
Yeah.
Yeah.
1 meter.
Well, there's a lot that depends because I'm looking at different things, and so I know for a fact. So one of the big things is elevation.
Mm-hmm.
So
well, for sure,
you don't know how high he was in the canal. You don't know.
No, there's a lot of
We're
factors.
assuming that it was like,
but also
flat, like pretty much no elevation.
I understand what you're saying. We understand what you're saying, but now just take for example, just under the idea that his 6 miles is right.
Okay, so based on Sean's data theory, he was higher. His elevation was higher.
He had to be.
I got you.
The only way to see that far, and like that actually, this is in essence, this exact thing could actually prove that the Earth was round, because if he could literally,
if he was higher, and he could see,
if the Earth was flat, I could use my father-in-law's telescope that he looks into space with, and I could see the end of the planet with it. I could just look at the end. It's at the end of the Earth. Because
it'll drop off.
It would drop off. No, I'm saying if it was flat, if it was flat, I could just look for thousands of miles, and I would look for thousands of miles. Yeah, but I can't because I just look into space. My sole point on this is like, we don't. There's two factors. A, he's just saying it was 6 miles. There's no proof that that this canal was 6 miles long actually, or what his elevation was. So I'm just saying there's unknown things.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
I understand his experiment. Totally valid experiment. If it was actually
makes sense to me with a telescope.
If it was actually 6 miles, then that would have proved his point.
But what about light? What about fog? What about, you know what I mean? Can light retract and then we would be able to see it? Or I don't know this science.
I think the light refraction would only make the visibility less. It wouldn't extend.
It wouldn't help it.
It wouldn't extend it. No.
Or like reflections.
No, because you can't. Because the way that shit works, it doesn't. You're not able to reflect. There'd have to be a mirror, a giant mirror in the sky, and that's like even with that stuff and like refraction and stuff, it disperses light and it would just make visibility less.
So this is the Old Bedford River, which is in the UK, and it's 9.7 kilometers.
Okay, it's pretty straight.
It's pretty straight, and it doesn't look like,
This is
like the elevation, like it looks pretty flat.
It says 6.027 miles.
Yeah, so I'm assuming that he just pushed it all the way to the end And he's like, this is now at the end.
I wonder-
and I can see the fucking flag now.
I wonder
You know
how
what I
annoying
mean?
how long he had to wait there because like it doesn't look there's no current. In
Yeah.
that.
I know.
He's
right?
like, please get
It's like
there.
on a sail.
Please get to the end. Like, whatever you do, just keep going straight.
But there's got to be like other stuff, and maybe we need somebody that But like, there's got to be. You see a mirage,
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
and it fucks with your visual.
It makes you believe you see something and something's not there.
Yeah, and
Maybe
it's just
there
it
is.
floats up and down, and I don't know. Anyways.
That's possible.
Yeah. All right. There you go.
Or maybe there was like
Moving on.
maybe his telescope is just like
Moving on.
janky as fuck.
It's true. Could have been a fucking spec.
I know. There's a spec. He's like, there
Who
it
knows?
is. I see it. I seen it.
I know. But essentially, he turned into this. You ever like talk to somebody who was just constantly arguing, and then they evade a question, and then they kind of
Because he doesn't have the answers.
yeah. So he started lecturing.
No questions.
Yeah, and he would charge us 6 pence,
Sixpence, baby.
for the lecture, and per witnesses or people who attended, he would counter every argument with ingenuity, wit, and skill. So it was like he was good at.
He's one of those that's good at arguing.
Yeah, I mean,
Fucking
this
annoying.
Is yeah,
He's like a vacuum salesman. He's like,
Yeah.
I've heard that one before. Yeah, fuck your mother. Shut up. I was like, wait, what? Next question.
So again, he was pressed in
No,
1864.
not you. You over there in the back. Next question.
So in 1864, he was pressed to do another experiment, but in front of other people.
Oh shit! And he's like,
Right?
Prove it.
I'm busy.
So it was a place called Plymouth. And this
Rock?
is in England. Well, it was
Sorry,
like
I'm
a
sorry.
it was like a lighthouse and like on the water. It was called Plymouth Hoe.
My kind of spot.
So he went to a beach where a telescope had been set up, and his opponents to this claim or whatever, there was a lantern at a lighthouse, and it was 14 miles out to the sea. It was like a little island or like a little rock or whatever.
Yeah.
And so he did the same kind of thing where he had a telescope, and it's 14 miles, so it's even more.
Even further, yeah.
Yeah. And so he, in front of everybody, he said, I can see part of the lantern.
Did anyone else look in the thing? Only him? He's like, I can see it.
So basically, the people that were watching agreed and said, you know what? This invalidated basic concepts of astronomy and basic concepts.
No, I don't know if it says. Was it the light tower?
Super high, yeah.
Okay, so maybe that had something to
know.
do with it. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it was like a
What's
lantern.
funny is that, and maybe we should read his book.
He'll convert us.
Yeah. Because I would assume that he would put numbers and like measurements, right?
I also just love this guy. He's like, I can see it.
Yeah.
And they're like, he's not lying.
Yes. And he breaks the telescope. I saw it.
He lights the telescope on fire.
Yeah.
Fucking proven.
I love this. Fucking casino.
Over.
Yeah,
it's
I
over.
ain't steal nothing.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like that's the
This guy, actually, I gotta give this guy mad props.
Dude, he's killing the game.
I gotta give this guy. This
killing
guy
the
is
game.
probably would be like.
In the game.
This guy be like VP of sales somewhere right now. Like this is fucking dominating.
So I did put together a little paragraph about him just to give. I don't know.
I want to know about
you
this
know,
guy. Give me
I
the
mean,
give me the backstory.
If he's like a crack addict living on the street, it would be good to know. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So, so he married twice. He had 2 children, one of which died in infancy. When he was 46, he married a 15-year-old girl.
Oh God,
That's normal back then.
I know, but it's already like a little sketch.
He had
When he was 40 years older than her.
he had 15 children.
What?
Well, I thought he just had 2.
With the 15-year-old, he had 15 children.
Okay, this guy's super sketch.
Unfortunately, 4 survived till adulthood.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah. He was. The story
Jesus,
gets
this
a
is
little
like
weird.
savage.
He was named in multiple wrongful death suits. I guess you would call them
He's
suits.
like a murder.
Yeah.
I wasn't driving the
Yeah.
carriage.
He had a case against him, which was called a death by misadventure. He was playing with one of his kids, and it's called death by misadventure, where he accidentally gave him poison and he killed one of his kids. He lived under an alias named Dr. Samuel Burley, and he had a lot of he got in trouble for giving people cures that were like fake.
Like snake oil salesman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the literal definition.
No, but my thing is like, how did how did that happen with this kid, bro? Like, was he like,
we're gonna have to
I got some chocolates for you, little.
I don't know. Maybe it was like the
shell game.
The shell game. They're like, drink.
It's like, idiot, you're wrong. It's this one.
Oh, you're dead, Johnny. It's not funny.
So fucked up. It just shows this guy sucks.
Yeah. So, anyways, he also sold some stuff that he claimed prolonged life.
Yeah, Hoover vacuums and.
So, he patented a few things. He had a life-preserving cylindrical railway carriage. Don't know if that ever came in.
That even mean?
I don't even know. But he never got a degree. He never really was a doctor, but he had a lot of different.
You know what it seems like?
Yeah.
It seems like this is like
one
of those guys. He's like.
Sounds like he's selling something, huh?
It almost reminds me of. You know who this reminds me of? Weirdly enough, it reminds me of Lee Harvey Oswald. He's like trying to be important.
Oh yeah,
He's like really trying.
He just can't dedicate himself to something.
His alias is a doctor. He's like trying to get lucky. Like, someone eats like some fucking peppermint and they like feel better. He's like, I fucking told you. I knew it. I fucking told you. He's like trying to be special.
Yeah.
Like he wants to be special.
Yeah.
And so like I feel like this was his way.
Right.
Like he was like, fuck yeah, I found something that I can finally finally make a name for myself.
Make him special. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not saying like I'm not like calling him a lie. I'm just saying like it seems like that was the track, and he finally found something. He's like, oh shit, I did an experiment.
This one stuck.
It worked.
Yeah,
people are gonna believe me now.
Yeah, I hear you. Okay. Well, he created something called the flat Earth map. So in his book, Zetetic Astronomy, The Earth Not a Globe, in 1864, his lectures continued, and concerned citizens addressed letters to the astronomer Royal seeking rebuttals for his claims. So then a certain offshoot church started promoting it in the U.S. when they had a radio station in 1923. By this time, he had died. And then in the U.S., somebody by the name of William Carpenter kind of kept forwarding his ideas. He was like the apostle of, you know what I mean? Like he was, the constant continuing it, basically, essentially, right?
I thought it was funny. You were talking about the flat Earth map, so I was looking that up. They sell that shit on Amazon.
Flat Earth maps?
Yeah,
1999.
Dude, killing it. Somebody's killing it.
$17.95.
$17.95. Yeah. What an awkward number. It's like a weird number.
It's on sale right now.
It's on sale. It's on Prime. Delivered tomorrow by 10 a.m.
But check it out.
Yeah. Yeah, there it is.
We'll put a picture of it so you guys can see it on our website.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I just love that Audible has this, and it's like Zetetic Astronomy. Zetetic Pastrami. Zetetic Astronomy is the magnum opus of Samuel Robotham, a self-taught polymath debater, faith healer, and early advocate of utopian socialism. Self-taught polymath debater, faith healer.
So after he died, somebody by the name of Lady Elizabeth Blount continued the Universal Zetetic Society, which he had founded, right? And the society published a magazine entitled The Earth Not a Globe Review and remained very active until the early part of the 20th century.
Oh, wow.
After World War I, the movement kind of declined. And then in 1956, it was revived and thus entitled the Flat Earth Society.
Flat Earthers.
Yeah. And so from 56 to like early 2000s, it really was a dead kind of... It wasn't really a thriving concept.
I mean, just to be honest, like I do feel like flat Earth to me.
You know what's strange though is like what remember we were talking about the way the flat Earth is structured, and there's an ice thing.
Yeah,
why is there?
Yeah, why is there ice?
Also, if there was ice around our entire flat perimeter, wouldn't we have reached the ice?
I know, and they'd be like, shit, there's a wall.
Like, what is this ice thing here?
We have reached the ice. Like at some point, people have reached the ice. But
the fuck are you talking about, Jorge?
People have never reached the fucking ice of fucking Antarctica or.
Oh yeah, but
not like the ice wall barrier around the edge of the Earth.
Yeah, but that's what they're calling the ice wall. Is like,
oh, they're just like, oh my god, I reached a spot where it's cold.
Yeah, and this is the wall, and I can't get past it.
I see. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's still a little if. It's still a little if.
Yeah.
It's also like global warming. Hello, what happens when like the ice melts? Does like the Earth just fall off the fucking sun, just melt off the side?
Yeah, what doesn't make sense is okay. What's the science behind why that ice doesn't melt? You know,
because I guess
if the sun is like right
because space is right next to it. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
But isn't the flat Earth theory that the sun is
It's
right
100
it's
100
like
feet
200
above.
miles above
No,
us?
it's 1,000 miles up instead of a million.
I mean, literally,
Right?
I'm
Is
gonna,
that
I'm
the
gonna,
math?
no, it's
more than a million.
far more than a million. Okay, here, I'm gonna go.
And also, like, how do you explain? Like, so if it's so close, how do
sun.
you explain the seasons?
All right, so the Earth.
There's so many holes. I don't even know what to say. Like he's asking a question, and I'm like, all
right, so the
I don't know what to say.
sun is 93 million miles away.
Okay, 93 million.
93 million.
Yeah.
93.
Not 200 above us.
93 million.
All right, so
It's like 100,000 feet above.
So in 2015, there was somebody by the name of Mark Sargent, and in the flat Earth world, he's probably the most well known.
He's the goat of the time.
He like
keep talking about goats on this podcast.
So Mark Sargent is the guy that you will see at all the conferences. And he's being interviewed by the LA Times, and he's the guy.
He's like this. He's the figurehead of this.
He's a bit of a
movement.
spokesperson for flat Earth community. Yeah. And so in 2015, he released a series of videos on YouTube called Flat Earth Clues, right? And it questioned the shape of Earth. And this is what went, I guess you would call it, viral. Millions of views, millions of followers. He became, I don't want to say he became famous because he didn't.
He became
really
infamous.
Infamous. Ooh,
yeah,
infamous.
I think this is when he got a Wikipedia page.
Oh God,
you know, like he became
social media famous.
Yeah, he became the guy. And he, you know, I watched a couple documentaries with him. I watched a couple of his videos. I watched a couple of his live streams and stuff like that. And I'm going to start this off by saying he's a really nice guy. Like
I'm sure
he's a really cool guy.
He's not like a dick. Yeah.
He seems well intended. He seems, you know what I mean? He doesn't seem really he's trying to trick anybody. He's not really trying to sell anybody.
So he's
not
like,
selling merch.
He's like, here's my truth. Here's my truth. This is my truth.
He's not Longbottom or whatever the guy we were talking about, you know, who started it.
Longbottom.
You know, whatever his name was.
Robotham.
That guy seemed like a used car salesman.
Oh, he was like
selling the thing.
He was
snake oil salesman.
So he just seems like a nice guy, and I don't want to
Yeah, we're not here to bash him, and people.
I don't want to be mean. And,
people are allowed to believe what they want to believe. Or it's like, fuck this guy.
So anyway, so he those videos took off, right? And he now it's like kind of his life to convince others that the Earth is a flat disk with a giant wall of ice around it. And the idea that he has is that it's an indestructible dome, and it's like attached to the rim, making it a closed system.
So there's like a giant bowl.
Yeah,
like a snow globe.
Yeah, exactly. We're in a snow globe. A good example is like a terrarium. You ever see a terrarium? They're like the enclosed life habitat.
Yeah,
terrarium. It would be like if you get a bottle,
like a lizard in it.
Yeah, and you can make plants, and you can make little like a habitat in itself.
And you have like a little light that's a heat lamp.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is the sun, I guess, in his analogy.
200 miles above.
200 miles.
So he claims that the stars and the planets are not physical places, but they're lights that are attached to the top of the dome.
Literally, that's what I said. They're fucking heat lamps.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the most ridiculous.
So then
we're
he goes
all
on.
Pets. We're just like pets.
So then he goes.
I'm sorry, this is ridiculous.
He goes on to further in his thing is that the governments of the planet are lying about it. NASA faked the Apollo program. We didn't go to the moon because
the moon is
no moon.
is like,
we already did a whole episode on this, guys.
Yeah.
You need to go and listen to that one.
The moon is where the masters are.
Yep.
So he
that's it.
So
I mean, that's
what. Wait, so his theory is that we're literally like we're like in we're in
a dome.
We're pets.
Yeah, we're in a dome.
Who does he think is controlling us?
And
Who do you think is
the planet government, according to him, apparently.
Well, they know, and they're
no. Who the fuck is the planet government anyway? Like,
I know what the fuck
is that?
The IMF or what do we?
I know it's like it's also like you see how like all of our governments hate each other. Like,
Yeah,
there's clearly not a planet government going on.
Hell no.
Yeah. So obviously he gets made fun of a lot in major articles, and what happens is they put on these big flat Earth conferences, and thousands of people go.
Yeah.
Thousands of people go.
It's called the Flat Earth Conventions.
Yeah, yeah. And I watched one of them, and there's thousands of people there. I don't know what to say. There's thousands of people there, and then there's news media teams, and they do these interviews with him, and they're kind of like making fun of him.
But he's like, yeah.
But no, and he's gracious about it, but he then tries... You know what I mean? It's kind of
doesn't make you believe.
Like, what do you really think? And then he like has to,
he's like trying to be cool.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be cool.
Yeah. Anyway, so I did watch his video of what took off, which was the flat Earth clues, right?
Yeah.
And so here they are.
Okay,
you ready?
Yeah.
So flat Earth clues based from Mark Sargent.
He's like, I haven't been to space.
Yeah.
First clue.
So he states that 3 things that cannot be faked. Okay, 3 things that cannot be faked. Number 1, after 50 years and thousands of hours of footage by NASA in space travel, there is no exterior shot where the astronaut completes the simple act of panning the camera 180 degrees, let alone 360-degree sweep. Okay,
Right.
This has never happened on any moon mission or exterior space station, nothing, ever. Stats will tell you this will have happened by accident years ago, but it hasn't and it won't. This is because of the rule they cannot break, which is never show the 4th wall. Why? Because there is no 4th wall.
What?
That is point 1.
He's saying that they never like rotate the camera enough to see them. Like they never take
To actually see.
They never take a selfie.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what he's saying. They never took a selfie in space.
It's kind of like taking a photo of you and you're wearing a yellow shirt, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're taking a photo or a video of you, and it's like, yeah, hey, I'm wearing a yellow shirt. Here I am. And then we stop it. And then Jorge goes, you didn't show the back.
Well, like that's the point.
So is the shirt yellow all the way?
No, but see the point about that. This my only rebuttal to that is that because no one cares. Like you think NASA's like worried about like what do the astronauts look like? You know, they're like taking pictures of space, and he's like, no, take a picture of yourself while in space, taking a picture of space
around your helmet. Go all the way around your helmet.
No, because the reason they don't set it up like that because no one gives a shit. No one gives a shit about that. I'm sorry. No one fucking cares.
Yeah, it's like it's not enough data for Mark.
I understand, and Mark, Mark might have a point, but my viewpoint is like, why would they do that? Because just to make him happy, like they wouldn't do that because they just don't care. They don't. No one else is asking this question.
Right. Yeah. I mean, this guy doesn't even believe that we went to the moon, right?
Right.
Like
he doesn't believe that.
So even if there was footage, like that, then he would be like, oh, that's fake. You know, that was doctored.
Well, that leads into.
Number two.
That leads into number 2, which he says, when you search for pictures of Earth, 95% are of composite shots. Majority are simulated images. Nearly none of the images are authentic pictures of the entire globe.
Well, how does he know that?
Yeah.
Like, where did he get this data from? Like, what does he know that I don't know?
So the idea is that, remember when we did the moon episode, we were looking at a lot of the photos.
Yeah.
And it was like, you can't see the globe fully because you're only seeing what your eye can see.
Well, yeah, it's like,
that's how it works.
Remember we had that argument about you can't see the stars at night on the beach?
He's like, there's no 3-dimensional picture of the Earth. What the fuck? Like, well, yeah, it's a fucking planet. I mean, it's humongous.
Essentially, what he's saying.
That's the whole point. It's a sphere.
It's a picture.
You can't see the other side.
I know. You can't see.
I guess the whole point.
Even if it's flat, you can't see the other fucking side.
I guess the whole point is that it's photoshopped. Like he says. They're all photoshopped.
No, but what does he think about? Oh, they took this picture and you can't see all there's only half the continents on it. Where are the other continents? Photoshopped. Where's Africa's not in the picture. What the fuck?
I know
it's not you. I know it's not you.
Yeah.
But it's a little funny.
I know.
He's like,
I know.
What the fuck? Current cameras can't take 3-dimensional pictures.
But
I'm sorry.
Yeah, because what we see in a photo is, and then it becomes flat. Like that's the whole point.
Yeah, a photo is 2-dimensional.
That's how it works.
That's how
fucking photos work.
A photo is 2-dimensional.
That's what photos are.
You cannot. There's no such thing as a 3D photo.
All right. Okay, point 3.
Yeah.
So we're off to a hot start.
Point 3.
One and two are bullshit.
Point 3 is commercial air travel routes to the southern hemisphere are wrong. The routes to the southern hemisphere are not direct. There are no non-stop flights. When the world is flat, it is the greatest distance between 2 points. So it's a distraction of layovers. Okay, so hear me out.
Yeah.
They're saying they're forcing layovers to make you believe that you're traveling further than you are.
Is that what he's saying?
Correct.
That's exactly what he's saying.
Yes, correct. And have you traveled like outside of the continent?
I'm not a peasant. Yes.
I'm not a peasant. That's the greatest.
No, I was just
He's like, do you know? Have you ever been on a plane?
Jorge, have you been out of the state? You know he was born in a different country, right?
That's right. So
I'm talking to a different
I've
continent.
been out of the.
I said continent.
Oh, continent. Okay.
Okay, fine. Yes.
He's like, no. He's like, absolutely not.
That would be funny.
Absolutely not. What am I? I'm not a king.
He's like, Eric, I'm not a peasant. Of course I haven't. No.
Okay, yes.
Okay, so the idea here is that if you were to fly to Buenos Aires, you have to do a layover.
Of course.
Duh, because it's fucking...
I just fucking went to North Carolina. I had to do a layover in Georgia.
I know. I try to fly to Texas. I try to fly to... Literally, you try to fly to Virginia, I have to have a layover in Oregon.
Oh, my God, yes.
But the idea is that there are nonstop flights to Paris, but there are no nonstop flights to Santiago, Chile.
Paris is... Okay. Yeah. How long is that
nonstop
nonstop flight?
I'm just telling you what the argument is. Yeah.
That argument's retarded.
It's ridiculous.
It's absurd.
It just makes no sense. It's like, he's like, yeah, you can take a 12-hour nonstop flight here, but then you have to take a layover for a 9-hour flight, and then you still get there in 12 hours. Like,
actually, I think what it boils down to is economics. Like it's just too far.
I know.
They don't have enough gas. And
but
you know what I mean?
They're fucking flat.
They want to. Yeah, they want to do.
Argument would be
they want to do Median Air down to Colombia.
Medellin. But like Medea.
His argument would be, well, why is there a nonstop flight to Paris?
Yes.
Right. So what's the answer? What do you think? Like,
it's just not logistically.
No, I know the answer.
It's economically, it doesn't.
No, because
really make sense.
The reason there are nonstop flights.
How many people are flying to Santiago, Chile compared to Paris?
No, that's my point. It's the reason there are nonstop flights to places because people pay. There's enough people paying money to go nonstop. Mm-hmm. Whereas others are like, okay, cool, we'll drop off these motherfuckers, refuel whatever, and then we'll go there and we make double the money. Like, that's the only way it's economically feasible. It's not like, it's, I want a nonstop flight to New Zealand. They're well, fucking sorry, no, it's not gonna happen. Like,
maybe with a private jet, and then that would
be the other part, right? Is why don't we just rent a jet and fly down to Buenos Aires?
Yeah,
it's fucking fly.
Yeah. We can get into that.
We need to do that just to test this theory.
Well, I mean, just as some of these.
So we'll be going on vacation for a few weeks.
Dogecoin sponsor.
I feel like it might boom with the millennial Gen X crowd. That might be.
That's literally what it is now.
Well, we're gonna
everything that is so crazy. You better respect it. You better believe it too. Because
if you don't believe it, you're a bigot.
Well, we're gonna go into more of present day stuff in the next episode.
I have
it was kind of like the history and kind of where it was going and kind of where it came from and
it's been around for a while.
It's been around for a while.
People don't know about that because we just recently been hearing about this in the last few years or so. Mm-hmm. But hey, it's been around for a long ass time. This theory.
There's some diehard.
It's huge.
I found this. I was sending these guys because obviously we all do our research, and I found all these Instagram pages, and they're 150,000 followers.
I know.
Bro. It's out of control.
They send you the Reddit. there's like a subreddit or something.
Oh, I bet it's madness. I bet it's crazy.
My God, yes, you got to jump in
So
there. But
deep.
would it have like? Was it 170 or 70,000 people? I don't remember, but it was
so many
shitload of people in there.
Far more people than I would have ever imagined.
Right.
Like, I was expecting like 32 people up in the flat Earth page.
One of those is Kyrie Irving.
I know. No, don't spoil the next episode. We have all the celebs who are flat earthers.
Yeah,
we have
quite a few, which is crazy.
A bunch of people.
There's a lot, and they're people
and all
that,
their quotes.
And if you like sports, the people you actually like.
I know.
And then now you're gonna be like, do I draft them on my fantasy team? I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't.
I know. And then early 2010-ish, there was a resurgence of this. And if you go on YouTube, there's a bunch of.
I think it probably stemmed from the general distrust of like the government and what you're being told.
So that's a great point. That's a great point. Is it's very much 1984-y.
Yeah, like
you know what I mean.
They're lying to us.
Big Brother, you know.
But I think it's like, what do they have to gain from that?
Yeah,
like,
I know.
It's round. You're gonna hold me down. I understand.
But next episode, we're gonna go into the conspiracy theories about it. We're gonna go into some more stuff, some weird stories.
Yeah, and there's also like a weird like
stuff.
There's a lot of interesting things that you'll kind of be enlightened about in terms of what they actually some of the stuff they believe.
There you
go. What they it's not like I said, it's actually more than just the Earth. There's like other things.
Yeah, it's not gonna
and
be,
it goes into real interesting.
Not just the theory, the math behind it or whatever.
No, it's like they believe some other shit.
Yeah,
like you're like, whoa,
it's true.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes, but like I said, look out. We will once after episode 2. We'll post these
all sorts of stuff.
No, the surveys.
The
polls. We want to post the polls.
Polls.
And I want to see some heavy poll content. Like I want to see because like we're gonna be checking that shit daily. I want to see the polls.
No,
so like when you park your car, just
and nobody's
take 12
gonna see them,
seconds
so
and
you
just,
can
answer the poll. It's
you
anonymous.
can be a secret. Yeah, you can be a secret.
If you're a closet flat earther,
yes, if you're closet about it, it's totally fun.
What he's talking about is we want to do a poll if you guys are a flat earther believer now, if you change your mind after episode 2, or
we want to do 2 polls.
Yeah.
Like before listening, what were your beliefs?
Yeah.
After listening, and we will have. Yeah, ABC,
and we also have.
It's going to be on Spotify, by the way.
Yeah, it'll be on Spotify poll. Yeah.
We also have about 5 things are the main points of what they believe in.
Yeah.
So you will find out. You know what I mean? Like, why do you believe in that?
Yeah, no, I think it's more than just like there's like other shit. It's like it's not like that simple.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's more complex than that.
All right, well, love you long time.
All right, guys.
Peace.
Nighty night.
Hey, it's Paris. You know I love sparkly things, right? Like stars. Duh. And thanks to Hilton and AutoCamp, I just slept under them. Picture me, serving looks by the fire outside my luxurious Airstream, making s'mores with the kids, while a national park is our backdrop. The great outdoors meets Hilton hospitality. That's hot. Explore all the new ways to stay at Hilton.com. Hilton for the stay.
Is anyone out there?
Another salesperson enduring the endless search. Exhausting. If you want to get right to the right conversations, you need LinkedIn Sales Navigator. Whether you're looking for new leads or strengthening existing relationships at your top accounts, get right to the right conversations with LinkedIn Sales Navigator. Try LinkedIn Sales Navigator now with a free 60-day trial at linkedin.com/trial. That's linkedin.com/trial.
Terms and conditions apply!
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Conspiracy Podcast.
Part 2.
You're still here.
Yeah, especially after Flat Earth 1.
I know. And I was gonna. That's how I felt.
This is the good one.
It's a lot. I mean, I don't know.
I know communes and
here we are. You know, yeah. So in part 1, we talked about the history of flat Earth concept and
the whole movement.
Yeah, and when did they start believing in flat Earth compared to this spherical planet that we are on?
It's so funny how
Maybe.
it went from it didn't begin with flat Earth. It's round, and then it was like, but is it?
It's
flat.
You know what's strange though is like what. Remember we were talking about the way the flat Earth is structured, and there's an ice thing.
Yeah,
why is there
ice?
also haven't if there was ice around our entire flat perimeter, wouldn't we have reached the ice?
I know, and like, shit, there's a wall.
Like, what is this ice thing here?
What's the science behind why that ice doesn't melt? You know,
because I guess
like if the sun is like right,
because space is right next to it. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
But isn't the flat Earth theory that the sun is
It's
right
100
up,
it's
it's
100
like
feet
200
above.
miles above
No,
us?
it's 1,000 miles up instead of 1,000,000.
I mean, literally,
Right?
I'm
Is that the
gonna
math?
no, it's
more than a million.
far more than a million. Okay, here, I'm gonna go.
And also, like, how do you explain? So if it's so close, how do
sun.
you explain the seasons?
All right, so the Earth.
There's so many holes. I don't even know what to say. Like he's asking a question, and I'm
All right, so the
I don't know what to
the
say.
sun is 93 million miles away.
Okay, 93 million.
93 million.
Yeah,
93.
Not 200 above us.
93 million.
All right. So if you didn't listen to episode 1, check that out because we go over, I guess, the history of it and then leading up to the lull, which was from like the 50s to like the early 2000s.
And then the resurgence.
Yes.
The resurgence of it.
So we're really at the resurgence and we're coming up to
More
today.
present. More
Yes.
present, like, and now we'll begin with more of the present.
Which we said, what, it was 2010-ish?
Is when the resurgence happened.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I wanted to go over a couple other things that I think that are kind of funny, like interesting. So this is based on like speakers of the 2018 UK's Flat Earth Convention.
Okay.
So this is the UK's
Big convention.
Yeah. So believers in flat Earth vary widely in their views. While most agree upon a disc-shaped Earth, as we've been talking about, some are convinced the Earth is diamond-shaped. I don't know.
I didn't know that.
I don't know how that works. Is it a flat diamond? I
Just
don't know.
the map is a diamond?
Most believers don't believe in outer space, and none. Apparently, none.
That doesn't make sense to me.
Apparently, none of flat Earth believers believe that we've ever traveled to space, and
so it's fake.
They believe they believe that space is not real. They don't believe space is real.
Okay, can we touch on this for a second?
Oh yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
And
No, but,
also,
like, what?
how
But
is
why
that even
would
possible?
Why
Like,
would we trick everybody?
It doesn't. It just. I don't understand. I don't
so
know.
if there's no space, where's the moon? Where's the sun?
They believe it's all like it's like
paintings on the ceiling.
It's like the Truman Show.
Yeah.
Yes. It's like the Truman Show.
But who's
That's
in the
my
Truman
point.
Show? There's like Ed Harris.
I know.
And he's got the beret.
I know. That's my point. Who do they think?
Something,
Who they think is the executive producer of this show?
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand.
Like aliens?
Well, clearly they don't.
Wow. So they don't believe in space, but they believe in aliens controlling the dome?
No, because then that would mean that there is space because there's aliens
should
out
have
there.
somebody on
There's
the
aliens
episode.
out there then.
We need someone to help.
I know it's like, well, the aliens are just in another room.
Yeah.
There's no space. It's just a big warehouse that they're all living in.
So fucking crazy. Sorry, no offense.
I know that's
no offense.
That's why that was the first thing I had because I was like, wait, what? They don't believe in like space? I think I brought the good, if there's no space, then which Truman Show? Like who's the executive producer?
Yeah.
That
What's what's the what's the
So anyway,
yeah. Moving on.
So there was a big they did this documentary called Behind the Curve.
Yeah, I heard about that.
So those filmmakers attended another Flat Earth conference, and a substantial number of people believed the Earth was an infinite plane. So potentially with an infinite plane, just like this.
Wow.
There's a plane going
Just
on
keeps
forever,
going and going.
So potentially with more continents beyond the purported circular ice wall of Antarctica, as Eric was saying, there's there's an ice wall.
The Night Watch.
I know, it's ridiculous. It's so stupid.
Jon Snow's up there.
So there's also your watch is ended. So some flat Earth believers also they suspect that other flat Earth believers are also somehow part of the global conspiracy and aren't to be trusted.
What?
So they don't even trust their own members.
There's like infighting.
Oh, there's
infighting.
There's infighting. They literally believe
Yeah.
like, oh, you're part of it. You're sus. You're super sus.
Yeah. Okay.
So
cool.
As Eric was saying earlier, members of the Flat Earth Society and other flat earthers claim that NASA and other government agencies conspire to fabricate evidence that the Earth is spherical. According to most widely spread version of current flat Earth theory, NASA is guarding the Antarctic ice wall that surrounds Earth. They also argue that NASA manipulates and fabricates its satellite images. So if there's
based on what?
No. But here's a fun fact. It's like they believe there's no space, yet there's satellites floating around in the warehouse that
in the sky, not space. Just
I know sky. It's like they're saying that the satellite images are wrong, but they're agreeing that there's satellites, but there's no space. So I'm kind of confused here. So they base that off of observations that the color of the oceans change from image to image, and that the continents seem to be in different places. Because the satellites are traveling like 50,000 miles an hour around the planet. So weird how continents are in different places.
Around the flat planet.
Them continents are in different places. Like, yeah, it's on the other side of the planet.
So confusing.
It's like, of course it's in a different place. Yeah. This is satellites moving faster than the speed of sound through space.
So far, I have not heard one.
There's none
like convincing.
Or even maybe
I can think about it.
Yeah, I mean, except for the whole telescope and the canal thing.
Okay, well,
that
agree to disagree. So there's actually three different factions of flat earthers.
Really?
So I'm gonna go through these different factions.
Did you find out how many people are flat earthers?
No, I couldn't.
You know what I mean?
I couldn't find.
Obviously, it's not a membership.
I couldn't find an accurate tally.
Yeah, it's not like a membership. You don't have like a card.
It's not the Freemasons.
Yeah, it's not like a Republican.
But what? Hundreds of thousands out of.
I mean, that's insane. If that's the number,
I'm just saying,
I
like
think
based on what we researched for
Dude, I saw
Reddit,
that Instagram.
Facebook groups,
Instagram page is like 160,000 people, bro.
But if you follow a Facebook page, it doesn't mean you're.
Why would I follow? I mean,
it doesn't mean, but sure. That's what I'm saying. Let's just say a couple 100,000.
20%. Let's say 20% of those followers.
I would say
no,
dude. On Earth,
80%.
Don't believe in it. Kind of curious. They're kind of entertained.
They're like lurking.
Yeah, they're kind of like
full lurkers.
I want to laugh at these.
No, I would say like
you don't follow. Unless...
Dude, if there's 7 billion people, there's got to be a 7 billion humans on Earth.
You said 7 million. Okay, go ahead.
I said billion, motherfucker. Listen, your luxurious hair is getting in the way of your hearing.
in the way of your intelligence. Your hair is fucking getting in the way of your smarts.
Listen, it looks too good. You need to cut that out.
No. Shave it.
So anyways, 7 billion. Eric's like, do it now. Shave it tonight.
Dude, I'll shave
it for you.
Yeah, all of you guys.
7 billion. There's I would say a couple 100,000 people. That's such a small fraction.
That's such a large number.
No, it's not.
No, I mean it's
compared
no.
It's
not. You're right. It's not a large
it's like
number.
0.01%.
No. But I'm just saying it's a large number of people who believe.
Oh yeah, 100%. Way more than I anticipated.
Yeah, like
way more.
Yeah.
Like I said, I was thinking of in the 50s.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, so the first faction. So the first faction subscribes to a faith-based conflict in which atheists use science to suppress the Christian faith. Their argument is that atheists use pseudoscience, evolution, Big Bang, and the round earth to make people believe that God is an abstract idea, not real. Instead, their arguments use the scripture, word by word, to support an argument that enables God to really exist. This faction frames flat earth arguments as revelatory. So it's pretty much like fanatical belief. But I don't know how they believe that, the circular Earth means God's not real.
Yeah, I don't know.
That doesn't make sense.
I mean,
I don't believe that. I don't believe that the Christian faith says anything with the Earth being flat.
Yeah, if anything, you would think
my grandmother literally reads about like every day. For the last 60 years. And she's never mentioned no flat earth shit to me. Their argument is that atheists use pseudoscience, evolution, Big Bang, and the round earth to make people believe that God is an abstract idea. See that round earth fucking guy ain't real. Yeah, I don't know how I don't know how those correspond. I don't know how do those two things go together at all?
I don't get it.
So that's the first psycho faction.
Faction too.
There's like 7 people.
I know, they're like trust us.
They're like in a bowling league.
So the second faction believes in an overarching conspiracy for knowledge suppression, which also
knowledge suppression. So you're trying to push down science.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, they're trying to push down fact.
Yeah.
So they're suppressing true knowledge, whereas they're using science to do that. So building upon the premise that knowledge is power, the flat Earth conspiracy argues that a shadowy group of elites, in quotes,
there you go.
control knowledge to remain in power. I don't know how that makes them in power. Only we know the Earth is flat.
It's very
power is mine.
It's very 1984.
It's no, but
you know what I mean? Like Big Brother.
Yeah.
Like they're just controlling the narrative of we're in a bubble. Keep these little ants working.
Keep them thinking it's
Keep
round.
them working.
No, but my theory, like with that, I understand. I love that George Orwell book, great book. But like, wouldn't it be more like beneficial for them to make people believe it's flat? And like, oh, there's nothing out there.
Yeah.
You can never escape. You're fucking trapped here. Instead of being like, there's a whole universe out there. There's so much shit we don't know about. Like, how would that keep them in power? I don't understand. If it was flat, I'd be a dome and be like, you're a colony. There ain't no fucking escape. There ain't no space. You're looking at shit. I put that fucking moon up there. That's an ornament. It's like a giant Christmas tree that you live in. Like that would make me be like, fuck it. I'll go back to the factory. But anyways, so in their view, lying about the fundamental nature of the Earth primes the population to believe a host of other conspiracies. This faction frames flat Earth arguments as liberatory, so like liberating. So I think it's just, we mentioned before, I think it's like this deep-seated disbelief in the powers that be.
Right.
So like this is an easy way to be. This is just one of their other control tactics. This is what they're using to.
It's so far-fetched.
It's so ridiculous.
It's so far-fetched.
But how? It's just like, what power?
I know
do they
I keep
gain
saying
from
it
that?
over and over, and but I just.
It's just I can't.
You're saying words, and like we're hearing the words, right? But all I know what to say is like I don't.
Well, because
you just shake the head.
Like as a rational human
Keep saying
being,
so
I'm like,
far-fetched, and
I'm
no
trying
offense.
to no, but I'm trying to
100%.
understand. Yeah, no offense.
100%. Hey, offense not meant.
I'm trying to. You know when you take somebody's view and you try to go, okay, I can see the view. Let's see if I can see the view.
But
and
like,
I'm having trouble.
You know when someone says like, it's like the two things that people say were to be honest.
Yeah.
You were lying before. It's also no disrespect. But I hate
That's another one.
Yeah, but I hate you.
No disrespect, but you're terrible at life.
Yeah, you're fat.
But no disrespect.
Yeah.
I prefaced it with no disrespect. That's how I mean it.
Therefore, I can say whatever I want.
Therefore, I'm of immunity.
So far, I'm having trouble going, like, I get it. Does that make sense?
No, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
having trouble with
like
that.
not even okay. I could maybe see how I agree. It's like I can't even see how you're making sense of this.
I'm having a hard time reading this.
No offense.
No
offense. Not that there's anything wrong with it.
Look,
Seinfeld.
if you're flat over, you're cool. It's just
we should have gotten.
We would love to have you on the
gotten
podcast.
A flat earther on.
Oh my
honestly.
god,
Yes.
We should have gotten one.
We have space for another mic here.
Yeah, we do.
Hey, write us if you're listening to this. I mean, you
know.
probably
We're not-
are because you probably believe
Here's the good thing is I'm not trying to be an asshole to you. I'm more just.
I'm confused.
By the way,
I'm confused.
by
I
the
want
way,
to. I want to understand.
Yeah.
What's happening.
and soon I want to have somewhere where they can leave us like a message, a voicemail,
Yeah,
or
a
something
voice
where you,
note. Like hit me with
so
something.
somewhere where you guys would be able to call and give us your
Hey,
thoughts.
shit! Even when we did the Freemasons thing, hey,
Yeah.
I was super happy to get the guy who wrote into us, and I was like, thank you. I was super appreciative to have the information because I was thinking it's like a good old boys club getting brewskis, and he was like, no, fucking, there's no drinking in there. I was like, thank you.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
I just was putting in information where I didn't know.
Yeah.
So flat earthers, we want to hear from you. All right, let's hear the.
So
Are we on the third one?
The third faction. So the third faction believes that knowledge is personal and experiential. They are skeptical of knowledge that comes from authoritative sources. See,
I get
this is
this
the
one
first
now.
thing I can understand.
Yeah.
This
They're
is like, correct me if I'm wrong. This is feel Earth. Feel your
No, this
vibe.
is like
feel what's
like
your
whatever's
vibe tell you?
whatever's true is because you saw it.
That's what I'm
and
saying. Like you
observed it.
experienced it for yourself, and you
Yeah.
made the conclusion as opposed to being told what you're supposed to believe.
Yeah.
So I can understand that.
Yeah.
First thing,
Okay.
the only faction I can
I
understand.
can see that.
So they're skeptical of knowledge that comes from authoritative sources, especially the government sanctioned quote unquote experts, especially book knowledge. They don't trust books. So this fact Sorry.
I'm gonna tweet that shit right there.
We don't trust books. Books are for plebs. Yeah. So this faction would like to find out themselves whether the Earth truly is. I don't know how they would find out themselves.
They got to go to the.
No. This is where you take a sailboat out to the ocean and you're like, do I see the horizon?
Go look for the walls. Go look for the ice walls.
You're like,
look for the ice walls. Yeah.
No, it's like a spiritual for yourself, Mother Nature. Do you see the horizon or not? And what do you see? And what do you see for your own eyes? Well, your own eyes.
Yeah, this is like because they distrust book knowledge and mathematical proof. This is I don't know who wrote this.
So math, you can't trust math now.
This is a funny statement because whoever wrote this is because they're idiots and they don't believe the facts.
You don't trust math, science, history, anything, economics,
literature,
mathematicals.
So this faction believes that the Earth is flat because their observations and lived experiences make it appear as if we live on a flat surface, which that's understandable. Like if you're only going off of what you've experienced, I can understand believing that's flat.
Yeah. I mean, there is the element that we're so small that you look out, go to Louisiana, you look out, all you see is flat.
That's true.
So visually, I'm assuming.
Flying? What about when you're flying?
No, I know. But I mean, I'm just saying. No, I'm assuming that this is that element.
No, I think it's just, hey, I've only ever seen flat, so why would I believe any different?
Yeah,
I've never seen.
Not everybody can afford a Southwest flight, Jorge.
like fucking.
Yeah,
like self-seating, paying for check baggage, like dude, like
cross-country influencer here. Jeez,
man. Not everybody can afford the $199 Southwest flight.
Yeah, bro. Want to get away?
Yeah, I know. No, but so you've seen the curvature on a plane?
Yeah, I think so, right?
I think so.
When you're,
I think so. Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, too. I mean, obviously you can get way higher and
you see
it way clearer, but like. Yes.
Well, it's not flat when you're when you're over Colorado looking wherever you know what I mean.
Well, here's the thing: like, how do they explain 0G? Like,
yeah,
you can take a plane in the stratosphere and you can experience 0G.
Yeah.
What do they think? It's like, well, fucking whatever.
So doesn't this negate gravity?
What do you mean?
Well, like, if you believed in flat Earth, would that negate the concept of gravity?
I mean, not necessarily, because gravity is based off mass. Gravity.
So even in a flat Earth scenario, say we lived in a dome,
as long as there was enough mass, gravity is mass. There's so much mass that the mass is actually pulling you towards it.
I get it. Okay.
So it's the only thing the one thing that they probably can't explain is okay. What about the atmosphere?
Right.
Obviously, like, so
you could see it. Well, I've seen the atmosphere.
The reason that there's a magnetic field protecting us from the nuclear sun, which is it's a nuclear warhead that's the size that's 3,000 times bigger than us,
and it's constantly shooting us,
shitting fucking death rays at us to murder us.
Yeah,
but there's a magnetic field.
They would say that's just what the books are telling you.
Yeah, that's fake.
There's a literal magnetic field around the planet,
according to the books.
But where's the science? Yeah, where's the science, bro?
Jorge is the new leader of the planet. They're the greatest argument, according to the books.
Yeah.
Name one book that tells me otherwise. Yeah. That's By right. All the books are fake.
I mean, look at Columbus's book.
Oh my God, dude! You know what? That's probably the best point ever.
Yeah.
True.
Interesting.
It's very interesting. There's a couple various skeptics, organizations. It's hard to.
It gets crazy.
It's just so hard to do this. I'm sorry.
With a straight face.
So
because you're not telling a story. But you're just reading words.
It's weird shit. It's just weird shit. So. Like these fringe kind of groups, they perform tests to try to demonstrate the local curvature of the Earth. Yeah. And so there was one group there's a YouTube show called Globebusters. It's the lamest name I've ever heard. So they use a ring laser gyroscope to show that the Earth is actually not rotating.
Okay.
So instead, they detected that there's a 15 degree per hour rotation of the Earth.
Oh, so they proved it.
They proved that the Earth is rotating.
They proved it that it was moving.
And so they dismissed this measurement as a corrupted device.
Come on.
Sure.
And they were somehow picking up the rotation of the firmament.
The firmament is an interesting concept too, which is it's the external. It's like
it's the dome.
It's the dome.
It's the dome.
Yeah. No, it's the dome.
It's the rotation of the dome.
Yeah. That's what they call it. Is the firmament. Yeah.
So there's another group that used lasers in an attempt to show a several mile stretch of water is perfectly flat by measuring the distance between the water level and the laser beam along 3 vertical posts. They were unable to align the beam as they expected to because the surface of the still water was in fact bent by several feet of the distance measured.
This episode is brought to you by Nespresso and Samra Origins by the Weekend Coffee Collection.
Introducing Samra Origins. My collaboration with Nespresso is a connection to my roots, to my mother, Samra. Coffee that hits the right notes. It transports you. Crafted with unique notes and bold, soaring flavors. Experience a taste that moves you. Nespresso and Samra Origins.
Discover more at Nespresso.com.
Jif peanut butter. It's that jiffing good, it doesn't really need advertising. So instead, enjoy the calming sounds of the ocean. Jif. Ooh, it's that jiffing good. Get your Jif at Jif.com.
The experiment was dismissed as inconclusive. So literally they're like, it's fucking flat. Watch, I'm going to take this laser beam to this pole. And they couldn't do it because the Earth bends. So they're like, inconclusive.
That's a bummer. That's a bummer. Sean can't even get through the reading.
It's so stupid. It's like, and they literally is, and they're just constantly proving themselves wrong. And they're like, it was a mistake. Inconclusive. The book's wrong.
Laser's wrong.
Yeah.
Fucking ran out of batteries.
Laser's broken. I knew it took AAAs. The Behind the Curve filmmakers, they spoke with a lot of people who said that kind of as a result of them being flat Earth believers, they lost a lot of romantic partners. They no longer spoke to many of their friends and family.
Totally.
They were literally
like
ousted.
disowned.
Yeah, they were
disowned.
They were literally like ostracized by the people because people thought they were insane. So one of the guys was like, I'm tired of being told I'm an idiot.
Maybe it's true.
So what happens? Wait.
So
So you're with a girl. It's a serious relationship.
Okay, baby.
And then she goes, you're 9 months in. You're living together. And then she goes, hey, I'm a flat earther. Is that a red flag?
I mean, 100% for me.
100%.
100%. 100%. I'm just gonna question her, like,
red flag.
I'm gonna question
radar,
her, like,
fucking going off.
like
her.
I'm like,
first you laugh because you're like,
I'm like, but for real.
Yeah.
Are you?
I'd be like, okay, explain it. Goes through any of these scenarios that we've been going over today.
So you're gonna let her argue. You're gonna let her.
Actually, I might argue with her for fun.
Yeah.
I might argue with her just for like the funsies. Yeah. So there's actually a Facebook group called Flat Earth Match.
Oh,
and it's a dating site.
You can find people.
Yeah, there's a dating site used to find like romantic partners who share the same beliefs.
You send her off over there.
It's a very listen, sweetheart. You should get off Bumble and go to Flat Earth Match. Okay?
Find some like-minded.
So the experts pointed out that after social ties to people outside the Flat Earth community are lost, one consequence of abandoning the Flat Earth belief would be loss of all remaining relationships.
Jeez, that's ruthless. That's crazy. Well, okay, so I'm going to tell you guys a story about Mike Hughes. And this is just a story.
Mad Mike Hughes.
So
it's real life. It happened.
Yeah, his nickname was Mad Mike Hughes. And in 2020, Hughes died in California following the crash of a rocket that he was piloting. He built it
out of scrap metal.
Yeah, and he was doing a TV show, I think, with the Science Channel. What's the Science Channel? Like Discovery or something like that.
Not Nat Geo.
And it
was probably Discovery.
And it was homemade astronauts.
I built a rocket, no problem.
Yeah, that was the concept of the show.
He's like using like gasoline. He's like, fuck yeah.
Yeah. Let's go. It was people who were going to build their own rockets
to prove
be
that
astronauts.
Yeah, to prove that like space
So,
was.
But here's an interesting part, right? So they did fundraising to get funding for the show. They got somebody to do it, but the way they got fundraising was saying they were flat earthers. Now, here's the part that I found out that was interesting. So he died.
Yeah.
He did one of his rockets,
He
and he went up.
He did
and,
multiple, and and the second one crashed, and he died.
And
Big
so,
surprise.
Didn't work.
Fancy that.
Didn't work out. Yeah. So, but following his death, Darren Schuster, which was his public relations rep, stated, "We used the flat Earth as a PR stunt."
Oh, so they were trying to get it was a clickbait.
Flat
It
Earth,
was just pure clickbait.
So Flat Earth allowed us to get so much publicity that we kept it going.
It's instantly it's such a polarizing thing. People are instantly like,
I
I gotta
right?
watch this shit.
Yeah. I know that Mike didn't believe in flat Earth, and it was just a shtick.
Oh shit! So he died for nothing. He died just for ratings,
just for fame, and
he wanted to be Instagram famous.
Isn't that crazy?
I know he was trying to be like, he was trying to have an OnlyFans.
Do it for the gram.
Do it for the gram.
I read it. I read the story, and I was like, "This is crazy." And then I read that, and I was like, "Oh, I hate humanity."
No, it's so sad. Like what people.
It's fucking crazy what people do for the views.
Oh, for the money
views.
and the views and the.
It's just like.
Have you ever seen those guys that like hang off the buildings
Oh,
or whatever?
God.
Those are the worst guys.
Fucking anxiety.
And they'll slip and like, oh shit, it's greasy, and I gotta turn it off. Like, this is too much for me.
It's too
Like,
much.
I'm freaking out. I'm on my couch and I feel like I'm
can't
falling.
Take this shit.
Honestly. Are you recording? Here we go. And then they drop off a cliff. Anyways, that's just a story. Then I wanted to go through some of the people that we earmarked as either believing it or maybe they believe it.
Oh, like potentially. Like potentials.
So here's the first one, Millie Bobby Brown.
Oh no.
You know Millie?
I know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Stranger Things.
And
Yeah.
She got pretty cute. Just saying. Just saying.
She's of age?
Oh yeah. She's like 20.
Totally fine.
22 now.
Totally fine.
Yeah. Anyways, digress.
Sorry, my mind is scrambled.
Flat Earth.
What if that's the girl that you were dating at 9 months? She told you that.
I'd be like, flat. It's fucking
Everything's
flat.
fine.
Yeah. Flat as
Yeah,
fuck.
it's fine.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
like,
fine.
I knew something was off.
Yeah.
I had a feeling. I just didn't know what to call it. It's flat Earth. That's what it is.
It's that level of hotness to crazy level.
Yeah.
It's like, exactly. And she's like rich.
Yeah.
Or like that Axis meets crazy with yeah.
If Scarlett Johansson told me that Bigfoot was like her friend, I'd be like,
100%.
Absolutely.
Be like, when can we meet?
Yeah.
100%.
You want to do dinner?
100%.
You want to do dinner?
You want to do dance? Yeah. Double
Totally
date.
fine. So Millie Bobby Brown, she did an Instagram live video, and she was asked by a fan if she believed the Earth was flat. Her response was this: "There are so many reasons that lead to the fact that it is flat. I mean, think about it. That's it.
I mean, I really. This is
That's
actually,
all we know about Millie Bobby Brown.
This is-
she could have been joking though.
I mean,
For the views.
Yeah,
like,
for the
for the gram.
Yeah.
It's just promoting Stranger Things at the time. She's in that. She has like Enola Holmes too.
Yeah.
Like she's
Let me be a little polarizing so I can get some views.
and she's like, think about it logically.
Yep.
Okay.
So I don't know. I mean,
Both
that's not enough.
ways.
That's not enough info to really say she's like.
Yeah, she might have
She's like
just,
in.
right,
She
right.
might have been just fucking around.
I think her publicist was like, just say it.
Yeah.
Just fucking say it.
So next up on the famous
It'll
list
work.
is Geno Smith. You know Geno?
Yeah.
Geno Smith, for those who don't know,
Quarterback of the Seahawks.
quarterback Seahawks. He tweeted.
His career was in the tube, and they traded Russell Wilson, and then like he had a great season. I'm pretty sure he's still drunk. I'm just saying.
So in 2018, Geno tweeted, "How many of the people who undoubtedly know Earth is a globe also believe in the Big Bang Theory and evolution?"
I mean, that's not really saying much.
It's not really saying it.
That's not really saying anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cancel Geno.
I mean, he's just saying like
Geno's out.
this. How many people believe? Like,
Yeah,
I
he's just questioning it all.
Yeah.
For
he's
example,
trying to
it's-
get engagement
No,
on his Instagram.
No, but like,
Twitter,
he's saying
yeah.
things like the Big Bang, and the Big Bang is not something that's like really provable. Whereas like the Earth being a sphere
it's close.
is how
Well, math, physics.
really physics. They're gonna be oh yeah. So we did a test and 7 billion years ago. This
It's
is
like
what
carbon
happened.
dating.
Yeah.
No, nothing has been carbon dated to be that old, bro. The Earth isn't that old.
Well,
The Big Bang is older than the Earth. How can they carbon date?
I mean,
and first of all, you know that like 98% of the universe is hydrogen and like helium, so you can't carbon date something that's not carbon.
We're so advanced. We're hella cool.
I know.
Next up is your bud Kyrie Irving.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Kyrie Irving
This is
played for the Cavs, played for the Nets, played for where is he now? Phoenix?
This is where the Nets dropped him.
No, he got traded to Dallas.
Dallas. Yeah, he's in Dallas. Yeah.
He's been everywhere.
Yeah.
The Renaissance man.
So he said, does it matter to you that I believe the world is flat?
Yes, it matters.
It doesn't
100%.
It doesn't really matter.
Yes, it does.
And he proceeded to talk about how happy he was that his conversation got people talking about flat Earth.
See, this is why you can't trust Duke's education.
Is that where he went? Duke?
Yes, he went to Duke.
Yeah, but he's also a very controversial guy. He likes
he
to
likes
be
it.
controversial.
He wants to be on this.
To be like the talk of the town or whatever, like
Yeah.
So he'll say whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. I think Kyrie.
That being said, he said it several times.
Mm-hmm.
I think he really is flat Earth.
Yeah, I think so
flat
too.
Earther.
I personally think Kyrie's just got the wrong people in his court. Like,
Yeah.
he's just got the wrong crew.
He needs a new PR.
And they're just like, oh hell, of course it's flat, dog. Like you look straight. It's fucking flat as fuck.
Yeah. So backing him up is Draymond Green.
I knew I hated him.
Draymond Green is on the Warriors. He's been on the Warriors a long time, but
he's got 3 rings. Yeah.
But right after Irving made those headlines, he said, quote, "Who's to say that picture from NASA is telling the truth? I can make a round picture with my iPhone today on the panoramic camera and make it look so round. So I don't know, but it could be," says Draymond Green.
Says Draymond.
That sounds like he's just trying to get also some views.
This is all clickbait.
Yeah, exactly. Fucking clickbait.
Another guy is Stephon Diggs.
Oh my God.
Stephon was a Viking wide receiver.
I was at the Bills. He's a legend.
Yeah.
He's so good.
He's good.
His brother Trayvon is also super stacked with Cowboys.
Yeah.
So he tweeted, Diggs tweeted, he said, "How mad would you guys be if I said I agree with Kyrie? Well, I don't care." And
Never drafting him again.
And he went on to ask for someone and then he went on to ask for somebody to prove that it's not.
Yeah.
Like prove to me that it's not. You know what I mean? That it's not flat.
I love these people that are like, prove to me. It's what else do we need to do to prove? Like,
it's
we've
been
done
proven.
everything. Yeah. Like, what do you want?
You prove to me that it's flat. How are you going to prove that?
Have you watched DirecTV? It's a satellite. It's orbiting Earth. It's a literal satellite. What the fuck? How do you think your phone works, bro?
So another one is Tila Tequila. You know,
who's the Tila Tequila?
Oh yeah, wasn't
social
she
media
like
person?
She was like on one of those reality TV shows.
Yeah,
no, I don't
she was a reality star.
She's clearly nobody.
She said, "How come in all the fake NASA CGI pics of the Earth, you never see the background stars and the planets?"
Here we go.
Oh yeah, because it's fake.
All right, so the Hubble telescope is also fake.
I mean, I don't really like that I just quoted these people.
Tequila needs to go listen to our Moon episode.
No,
I don't like that those are our quotes.
So,
Tequila, Stephon, Draymond. Like, you know.
No, so when my father-in-law does a long exposure nebulas in space, that's just a fake. It's like as NASA Bluetoothing their videos to his telescope.
Yeah.
Come on. He's actually like taking them, and I've seen the pictures.
Yeah.
And they're of different things. He's pointing them at different things. I have a hard time believing they're oh shit, someone's looking at the stars. Fucking send a pic over. Quickly. NSA. Like send it over. Come on.
You would have rather had some more creditable type people quote.
If like Stephen Hawking
one
was
person.
Like,
I would have liked one. I mean, okay, remember when we did the Shakespeare episode?
Yeah.
I mean, you had like Mark Twain. You had some guys that
someone
were
who had
like
some weight, not Tila Tequila.
Yeah, and a bunch of sports people.
I know.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Anyways, yeah,
they weren't taking those tests in college. Let's be real.
Yeah,
let's just be honest.
So here we are. I mean, that's that flat Earth, and
I mean, my views have not changed.
Not even one.
I'm actually more vehement that it's round.
Yeah, because the arguments weren't that great.
No.
Especially because every time they got proved wrong by their own experiments, it was technical difficulties.
Yeah. So, but the conspiracies on it are that NASA's fake.
Well, that the government government is propagating the lies.
There's a planet government.
Planet government.
Okay, and there's some sort of Big Brother-y thing.
Yeah, like Big Brother-y
like
thing,
keeping it from you. And
but for what purpose? I guess we never really understood that.
Supposedly, it's control
to control you,
but I don't
domination kind of.
But like, see, in my entire life, there's never been something that someone had more power over me because the Earth was round. I don't know how. Like, it
didn't affect you.
It didn't affect you. I just kept living my life. Like it was never brought up. It was never. I've never had a conversation with another human being in my entire life about the Earth being round or flat.
Really?
This is the first
time that was brought up.
No, I've looked at it because it was interesting, but I've never had someone be like, "Oh well, you're not getting paid as much because the Earth is flat." Like what? Like Black Lives Matter. Earth's
been
flat.
Picking up steam in the last 10 years, let's say, or something like that. And before that, what we went over it. Before that, it was like not a thing. It was kind of just died out.
Yeah.
From 1950 something to whatever 2000s, 10 or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons you never had any conversations because it wasn't a thing. But now
it's a thing.
Now it's a thing because social media, all these celebrities, like
all
these famous
video.
people, and all these famous
you can
people
make an argument. You can make an argument, and there's no debate.
Yeah,
meaning you can make a video.
Oh, and
it's rad.
And you don't have to answer them either.
Yeah, it's got animation, and you could turn the comments off, and you know what I mean. There's no debate. There's no argument. There's no science saying. There's no Neil deGrasse Tyson going, no, this is wrong for this reason.
No, it's also there's
just views.
There's people that will say, I've seen arguments that okay, well, you see these stars that that perfectly align with the pyramids, for example, and things like that. They're like, well, if we were actually moving through space, why are they still aligned? Well, technically, everything is still moving through space,
right?
So they're moving through space, in essence, at the same speed. Everything is expanding at the same exact speed as the same exact rate. There's not differences in speed. It's just everything is expanding at that same rate, and it's just. That particular argument where there's no actual beneficial reason
for it to be flat,
and then to hide it. There's no benefit. For example, in every tyrannical regime where they're using propaganda to push a narrative, it's something that benefits them. Don't read so you don't know that there's anything better, or these people are evil people, so hate them. There's nothing they gain from thinking the Earth is round and that there's space. There's no gain. What do you win?
I'm trying to even think.
I can't. I cannot think of anything.
I think this might be the first episode,
full agreement.
The first conspiracy that we're all on the same page.
I mean,
well, we've been semi on the same page. For a couple things.
Semi.
Natalie Wood, we were.
Natalie Wood, we were really close.
We were real
close. And there was
close.
another one,
but
too.
we were more like...
I think Shakespeare we all agreed on. I think
Yeah.
Shakespeare we all agreed on.
Stand corrected.
Yeah.
God forbid we do a pyramid episode.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
It's coming.
I mean, me and Eric might fight in the parking lot.
Oh, my God.
After an episode.
I hate
we need to just do one on aliens.
The employees, Eric.
Well, here's what I wanted to ask, though, towards the end of this is what... It's not like there's 4 people.
No, there's a lot. Hundreds of thousands.
Do you know what I mean?
Supposedly.
It's not like there's just
but
crazies. Yeah, it's a funny
like
theory.
the bums and they're it's flat.
Yeah.
But it's
tens
still
of thousands of people.
Very relatively small compared to the population of Earth.
True.
I mean, there's there's cults that believe in certain things or whatever, and there's a small population that believe in that. There's always going to be a little small group.
Yeah,
that
but
believe
here's the thing.
Something that the majority doesn't.
Of course, and I don't think that's a wrong thing. I think it's
sure.
totally fine. It's totally fine, and that's something that we do personally is to question the narrative.
Yeah,
that's why we're here, because it's
everything.
Yeah, they question everything, and I think that's a sane thing to do.
Yeah, at least do it sanely.
Yeah, it's stupid. Yeah. It's stupid to just blanketly accept everything you're told.
Yeah.
It's because obviously, as a human and as a human being, it's your right to to get the answers and make something make sense to you.
Right.
It's just this just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Which is why I don't
Well,
understand.
I read a survey was done like a couple of years ago. 86% of Americans, I think it was a 10,000 person poll.
Yeah.
It's not all of them.
No,
you know what I mean?
no.
But the numbers came out that 86% believe that the earth was round.
Wow, that's
14%. Now, I'm not saying 14% said
no, because
that it's flat, but they said, I'm suspect.
Yeah, they're not sure.
I'm questioning
They're
it.
not sure.
That's right.
No. What if it's egg-shaped?
That's a, yeah.
Like, you know,
that's a huge number.
I know. What is it, an oval? It's an oval.
Yeah. So I'm just wondering I'm trying to understand why would somebody believe it? Like what? Because they're intelligent people. These are not a bunch of idiots. There's a whole walk of life who are believing it.
I understand, and
I'm just trying to understand why.
And see what
they can believe it.
I don't know. That's just part of the conspiracy. People like
they like the story.
They like the story. They're contrarian.
And some people just want to disagree.
Exactly.
Yeah. They don't want to be part of what they call the sheep. They don't want to be in the current with everyone else. They want to be different. They want to be known as different.
That might be the one. That might be the one right there. Yeah.
I think if there's more info, like it's totally totally possible that there's other beliefs and things that we're not covering. Yeah. If you are a flat earther, please write us, email us. Like I want to know. I don't want to be this like shitting on you with know without you getting your chance to rebuttal or give me some information that I don't have, and maybe I feel a different way. I'll go on, I'll record and recant. I'll recant if you make me believe.
Yeah, the idea though is that based on what we've seen, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
there's just no plot. There's no
it doesn't.
There's no plausible.
There's no legitimate argument.
Especially since all of their experiments to prove it have failed.
Yeah, there doesn't seem to be an experiment.
And then they won't acknowledge that it's real. They won't acknowledge that it failed.
At least admit.
I know. Be like,
except for that telescope.
Damn, in the 15 hundos.
Episode 1.
Episode 1
in the 6 Mile Channel.
That was the first one. That was like the only legitimate experiment that's ever conducted.
Well, I do think that half of the people who do believe into it, I found that the sense of community was really nice. I watched a lot of these interviews.
They just want to be part of like a movement of a community.
And I can understand that.
Yeah, sure.
I can understand that.
But then when it comes time to back it up, what's your reason? What's your proof? What's your...
I didn't like a lot of the interviews that get done at conferences. They don't talk about why the earth is flat. They just talk about how happy they are.
Right.
I love it. I met my wife.
Yeah, like which is great
because they don't want to get caught. They don't want to get caught.
Get caught.
Yeah. They don't want to face the actual.
Well, the thing and one of the things that I read was that apparently there's some extreme flat earthers that don't trust the other flat earthers and think they're part of the conspiracy. They're in
moles.
On it. Yeah, they're moles.
They're little
secret
moles.
agent.
Yeah.
NSA. They got a planet everywhere. It's like they can't even trust their own kind.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, that's what we got tonight.
I mean, I'd love, like I said, please. We do want to hear from you.
We're not making fun of anybody.
No, and we also don't believe that we're the end all be all. I mean, we have 3 high school diplomas here, bro. So
help us out.
Like we just want to talk about it, and we want to hear what you got to say.
That's right
about it.
That's right. So we'll catch you next time on the Conspiracy Podcast. We've got OJ
shit coming up.
We've got RFK. We've
we got hitters.
Superman.
We've got hitters coming.
We've got a lot of stuff coming down. So
and we're gonna leave you. Hold on, just because we got some new technological devices in here, and I'll hit you with one of these right here. That's right. That's right.
We got sound effects now.
I know. We are upgrading.
It sounds like a 90s like radio show.
Yeah, it's like
we're gonna change the sound effects. It's just I just wanted to do it.
Don't you worry.
Like it's gonna be cooler, I swear.
All right, you guys have a good night. We'll catch you later.
Nighty night.
Later.
Hey guys, it's us again. You ever heard of Patreon? Because we just started one. Exclusive content, Discord, which I'm still figuring out. But but we get to talk.
You can suggest new episodes or just let us know something that we already talked about and you want to get in on the conversation. We're there for you.
We're also coming out with shirts and other merch.
There are 2 ways you can sign up for exclusive content. The first is through Spotify. There's a link in our profile description that links you to the Spotify premium page. And that's only $2.99 a month. And it gets you an ad-free experience and it gets you extra episodes that come out every month. The other way is through our Patreon. All you got to do is go to Patreon and search The Conspiracy Podcast and you'll find us. There are many different levels there, all giving different amounts of content.
Yeah, because guys, this really does help us. We do this virtually for free. So help us help you enjoy yourselves.